the end of the season. With that being said, let's talk about our two teams. First off, top tier, they're near the top. Second place right now in a second-place tie, and they're still tied right now, all based off RBIS's win. However, they're fighting to maintain that tie, but with one less team due to the shifting nature of the divisions tonight. Even though they had a loss with Simple Tankers, they should still be proud of their teamwork on Ensk and Cliff last week. Last week, it was a sight to see. If they win, they stay in second place. If they lose, they fall to third place, depending on where RBIS landed. We'll take a look at those stands at the end of the night tonight. C'est La Vie has their first win under their belt from last week. They took out Victoria's Secret. Callis is still the captain, and he's back to making the battle calls. They used great intel with their T1s against Victoria's Secret to fight and to go for the flag cap. Despite setbacks, they are finally gaining some traction. And with that traction, hopefully they can be able to go toe-to-toe with top tier. If they win, they rise to 7th place. If they lose, they're one game away from knockout. C'est La Vie is fighting to survive in the Gold League. Tough place to be in for C'est La Vie.
Yeah, and
really
Callis has taken his team back over, right?
He has. He is taking it back over.
All right. Well, with that, I guess maybe they're going to be grabbing back the momentum. Maybe they've got a little bit more prepared this time, as they've got some more momentum and a little bit more
experience, more motivation. That's right. And if they can't make it to the playoffs, at least they want to not get booted out of the Gold League and have to fight their way back through the Silver League. But anything can happen. With that, I welcome the two team representatives to the face-off. Gentlemen, good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
We have Big Cheese from C'est La Vie joining us tonight, and Rude Awakening from Top Tier. Let's start with Top Tier first. Top Tier, tell me about Simple Tankers. What went right and what went wrong?
I think actually they played really, really well. We played pretty well too. Maybe we got a little too aggressive on one or two instances. We thought we could take the advantage, but they defended it really well. And honestly, they played really, really well. I thought we played really well too, and it came down to just 1 or 2 seconds.
1 or 2 seconds indeed. It was a very, very good matchup. You guys should definitely have that in the record books to show off to the world, because we will, most definitely. Let's check in with C'est La Vie. Now, finally, with one win in the Gold League, do you feel like a different team now that you have a victory under your belt?
Absolutely. It's good to have that one win there.
All right, Big Cheese, any words for your opponent before we start?
Well, good luck, have fun. Victoria's Secret. Top tier.
All right, Top Tier, any words before we start?
I mean, I know that C'est La Vie is full of really talented players, so we are taking them as seriously as we can. They're a really good team.
Thank you, gentlemen. Best of luck on the battlefield.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Big Cheese was calling the shots for a little bit with C'est La Vie. He will be appearing in the face-off as we saw tonight, and I believe next week as well. Let's take a look at those rosters for some of these individual players we're going to be scouting out and taking a look at. Top Tier, I have to say, Velaccio, man, his performance is phenomenal every single time.
Yeah, and then for C'est La Vie, Big Cheese, of course, has been a performer in the past. He won't be in the commanding position anymore, so maybe a little bit less pressure on him to perform as well. Callis seems to be very competent as well, and we're going to be watching out for that T1 play today.
That's right.
Prohorovka is going to be a very crucial map for that T1.
It is. Stay tuned for some of those T1 information gathering skills coming from C'est La Vie. But it takes more than just a couple players. It's an entire team that gets the win. So, Rukio, what are your rules for victory for these teams?
Well, if you can't tell what kind of a kick I'm on right now after these rules, you'll see. Gotta fly now. They're getting stronger, guys. C'est La Vie is getting stronger. They just need to keep training. The Hado. Second, be a thinker, not a stinker. You gotta use your wits, Callis. And then finally, you're a bum, Rock. I say this with the love and respect I can. Rocky's not a bum, and neither are you, C'est La Vie. Prove it. And that's my rules.
It's over, Rock!
I know, isn't it just a great movie?
Nothing is over! That's how you gotta say it.
Adrian!
Yeah, well done. Well done.
See, yeah, do that one.
I love Eye the Tiger, of course.
Isn't that Rocky 2? Or no?
You Can Fly Now and Eye of the Tiger, I believe, are both from the first Rocky films,
I can never remember.
which Sylvester Stallone wrote and earned an Academy Award for.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It really is. He had a dream to put it together, and he made it.
Maybe C'est la vie can write a story in the same vein about a World of Tanks team that trains harder,
Trains
grows
harder.
stronger.
Take out Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed
Yeah.
would be simp in their division.
Yeah, that makes some sense, but
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit less flashy. I mean, a smidge.
Possibly.
Just think of-
Prohorovka, our map of the week, is going to be played between our two teams for match number 3 tonight. Rookhill, what do we have for tanks?
T32, T69, 3 1390s, 2 T1 Cunninghams for the side of top tier. On the side of C'est la vie, 2 T32s, 3 1390s, and 2 T1 Cunninghams.
Finish your thought. Go ahead.
I don't think we could see Mac in that kind of a getup. Can
Oh.
you imagine it? We should get that. We need to make sure this happens, actually. Can we do that? Can we?
I'll think about it.
I mean, Mac doesn't live too far away. We could drive down, give him the costume, and be like, all right, here's how you're dressing for your next face-off, Mac. All right, laps can, oh wait, laps can wait, Mac. You need to wear this. It's very
E63,
important.
M6, Lord Reknap see each other. Bit of a high five from the active scouters. And they move back into their respective pieces of the map.
I'd always thought the meta would evolve to a point where you counter the opening scout with direct fire.
WZ-132 could do that.
Like that, or with just harder hitting tanks already lined up and ready to shoot.
Commodore spotted.
Because it used to be like that. It used to be, the opening scout run was so dangerous. You'd have to decide, can I make this run? Can I afford to? Am I going to die? But no one seems to...
Am I going to die? It's the last thought that somebody has in their tank before it explodes.
That used to be it. Sometimes you would just blow up on the opening scout run because guess what? The enemy team was ready.
They were ready for it.
But it doesn't happen. No one seems to care anymore, and it's weird. If you care too much, you end up falling behind, though, in your...
That's what it is. You put too much emphasis or value on that, you can fall behind for the rest of the game. Cool Hammer falls to Rude Awakening. Big bounce off the side of the T-32.
Such strong armor. So potent.
It is. I love seeing the actual shell bounce and then the shot of the poof. It's the best way I could recreate it. But everyone in the audience was able to hear that.
What was the sound?
I'm not going to try to do it. I'm not giving it justice.
Do it.
Sounds like metal ricocheting off another piece of metal and then flopping around in the air.
I think that's exactly what it is, though.
It is.
So it doesn't sound like it. It is.
It's the sound of.
Yeah.
T-32s still dancing back and forth. T-69
Hold down.
fizzled a bit against that T-32.
It only has 250 heat pen.
I know.
I don't know what Explosionism is expecting to do unless he loads HE.
Oh, 330 damage done. by
That's
Big
the
Cheese here.
105.
Yes, that is the 105. Cam door fires and falls back.
And
He takes a
someone's-
hit finally.
Oh, it looks like E63 is looking for a shot, and he is able to connect on Commodore at least once. But I believe we'll be seeing C'est la vie giving us a one-line push with their 1390 suit. Unless, who is that to the very southeast?
The very southeast.
Oh, that's
it's Llama
Racknips.
Leaf.
Surprise!
Oh, there he is.
Dead team.
On the, very southeast. I was looking on the southwest. Lord Reknaps takes a shot. It was Llama Leaf and the T1s who are on the western southern
Nick
tip
Black
of
taking hits as he
position.
tries to cross and take out Racknips, but he does not have the hit points anymore to take him on. And 4 shells from Racknips will finish him off.
Palacio takes a hit.
And this could be the point where we see an engagement begin. Palacio needs to posture up and force those T-32s back down, but someone, Llama Leaf, is heading to the south. He might find E63, and this is going to be a mess. This is going to be a complete mess of a fight. With Llama Leaf where he is, E63 is spotted, does not react in time. Just playing the lazy game. Takes down, but takes a hit instead. Now we're going to have C'est la vie try and push in. We've got McBlack way out of position in cover fire. Explosionism and Velatio kind of together. Backstaz just sitting in a strange far back position, sniping in a 1390. This is going to be a mess for top tier to defend. C'est la vie in an equally odd position where they haven't pushed down the one line yet. but they also don't have any clear anything. This is just weird. No, don't push over the east. It looks like they want to. Callus, Doppler, Lord Ragnaps. They want to push over the east, but that's not going to be a good idea.
No.
They're going to be pinned in that position. The T-32 has no disadvantage to that. There's no high ground or anything. Maybe transitioning to an east position would work for C'est La Vie, which I think they are going to do with those T-32s. Just literally backing up into the east position. Full reverse.
Yep, full reverse.
So slow.
Full reverse as Callus tries to cover them slightly in his 1390. Velaccio fires, misses.
This is that great for either team. This is not an ideal situation in which they're actually going to back off at the 5-minute mark, give us that kind of a reset, and
well,
we're
reset
looking
is
at a draw.
happening now, but it's not a surprise on either side what's happening.
It's not ideal. I don't think either team planned for this, but it looks like C'est La Vie's having to transition because they see no real advantages. They have a T1 advantage. They don't have a health pool
Not
advantage.
for long. Flaming Panda is spotted.
They could have maybe made a push with 2 T-32s with the hit point advantage.
There goes Flaming Panda.
No, and now it's even on T1s. So this east-west polarization, well, that's probably, I think it will give us a draw. Teams not having to transition into this after 5 minutes, not opening with it, and we usually see a draw after just opening with that position. So,
Lord Reknaps from long range, waiting to fire. Fires into Velaccio for 274.
all right, that's one way to do it.
Fires again for a miss.
Bounce, actually.
Oh, a bounce.
Yeah, still managed to hit just right off the cheek.
Velaccio
is-
fires back.
Yep. No connection.
None. It was close, but no cigar. Now Reknaps, Callus, and Doppler. Hey, this is the strength of C'est La Vie. Keep their opponent from far away and get on the flag cap. Force them to come to you. 30 seconds left for them to get the capture. McBlack spotted from far away. No, not spotted.
You gotta stay passive. Right in that bush. No! No, McBlack. Don't do that. Oh. He just drives out in the open. What are you doing?
Oh, reset happening here. Lord Reknaps leaves, gets shot, getting unloaded upon. They fire back towards McBlack. One hits.
Ouch.
20 seconds. Lord
McBlack should
Reknaps
not have
slow.
fired.
They got
It's
him.
so tempting to do that, but you cannot fire. You have to scout, and it hurts. But that was a huge mistake by top tier's McBlack to fire. I know the time was close, but I think he should have probably moved forward and tried to just active scout them instead of trying to get the shot.
The fallback from Callus is smart. Get away from the damage and to put another gun up top against top tier's tank movements. Still spotted. Velaccio takes a hit. Explosionism actually takes a hit.
Now shots fired, hitting dirt.
Baxtaz peeks for a shot. He's still spotted. He gets hit. C'est La Vie is really using that type of positioning well.
It's more mistakes by top tier. They're getting themselves spotted and staying exposed. Tanks like Velaccio are doing a good job of doing the whole down game, and there's plenty of damage going on to those T-32s. But the other tanks, Baxtaz and McBlack, have made some mistakes which I feel like have thrown off their advantage. They are down at tier 8, and no matter how much health they have, those extra guns can just tear someone apart in a few seconds. Explosionism has too little help to push. E63 and Baxtaz have some health. They can push, but it's very dangerous for them to do so.
Past the 2-minute mark. Possible draw scenario. And there goes Commodore. 4 tanks live for C'est La Vie. 4 for top tier.
Oh,
Top tier's pushing up. Baxtaz taking a lot of damage.
And Callus pushes up.
There's E63M6 on the crest of the hill. Fires against Callus. Callus low, returns fire. He falls to Velaccio.
So much greed happening right now. Everyone is just getting so greedy. And the trades of damage not working out for C'est La Vie.
Ooh, nice shot from Velaccio again against Lord Reknaps. Doppler. Big Cheese still alive. Big Cheese very, very low. Long range. Minute and 13.
And now they're going to close in. Top tier has enough tanks and probably enough hit points. Doppler could clutch this reasonably if he can get the right hits, but looks like everyone's going to keep their distance with too little health.
2 shots that don't fully penetrate against Doppler, but he goes down. Big Cheese, last one. 15 health left with 51 seconds. Is it enough time? Big Cheese will fight.
I don't know. I don't think he has the strength to do this. At least his tank doesn't.
Top Tier wins it with 40 seconds left on Prohorovka. Well played in battle number 1. C'est la vie trying to go for the flag cap. Trading a little bit of damage. Really good damage trades for a long, long time. Long range fire. But it came down to more HP and the value factor for Top Tier.
I think that was just a mess of mistakes from both teams. And I think if we asked our captains right now, they'd agree with it. That was not well played out. There were too many mistakes. We saw 1390s firing when they needed to hold their shells. We had T-32s exposing themselves on the side of C'est la vie and taking damage when they didn't need to. We had weird positional play and transitions into unideal positions. Everything about that Prohorovka battle did not go at all like it could have for either of these teams. Captains are probably feeling a little rough after that, which could actually affect the next battle, which will take place on Abbey. And where they were so just messed up on Prohorovka, I'm wondering if they're going to slow this one down and try and regroup themselves on this second map.
Possibly. Let's take a look at where they're going to spawn.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that jumps into my mind when I think, how do you approach this? I'm on the side of C'est la vie. They'll be spawning to the south. North will be Top Tier. So you do have a potential defensive position, but that's not the Tel Aviv wants to be in. They're down by 1 point. Because of that, Top Tier can play defensive as long as they want and play for the draws and get the win. However, the 5-minute mark, I predict a reset will happen between one of these teams. They're going to try to play some card that's different compared to what we've seen in the past, and it may just work. But that prediction, 50-50 chance of it actually happening.
I don't know. I think they're going to pull out that Cap Fast card.
The Cap Fast. I'd love that card to be played. I would love for Junior, the former leader of Simple Tankers, to show them that strategy, because that was quite a sight to see.
Come on. They've tried it before. It didn't work, unfortunately, against Simp, but
yeah.
I mean, C'est la vie could try it here. Top Tier might not have the same defensive position. They're a more aggressive team. Could work.
I mention it because that's the best possible example I can think of. I can conjure up in my memory.
It was a good Cap
Simple
Fast
Tankers.
by Simple Tankers. That was season 1?
Season 2, I
Oh,
believe.
wow.
No,
Okay.
it must have been season 1 because he was a captain then.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Battle number 2 between C'est la vie and Top Tier. Root killed. What do we have for tanks?
We have a 5100 IS-3 T69, 2 1390s, and 2 T1 Cunninghams. For the side of Top Tier, C'est la vie is going to have 2 5100s, 2 T32s, 2 1390s, sorry, a T32, 2 1390s, and 2 T1 Cunninghams.
Big Cheese in the 5090. Or 5100, excuse me.
Sorry, I'm messing you up there.
Well, the 1390 is right next to him, so I was processing both of their names. He will be going towards the center, covering Doppler and Commodore. Not much cover, really. Actually, they're waiting to get reloaded. So Commodore will be jumping up first. Not a lot of hill or road play happening here. Mainly focusing on the Abbey for C'est la vie.
And Memory Leak and McBlack will be getting into the Abbey.
This is... And this T-32 play in the center is reminiscent of a lot of battles that took place in Season 1 and 2, where more fights happen in the center. Fights with Cazadores.
Oh, yeah. Cazadores' strat was a little bit more Eastern, though, I think.
Well,
focused.
when we when we took out the 8-point rule, it became more Eastern. This center way, they'd get the win and then fall back when you could win if you had a tiered advantage.
Fair enough. Now, McBlack and Memory Leak may be able... Oh, wow, E63 got in there. When did that happen?
Ho, 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 ho. Doppler gets hit. 214.
He's going to have to back off. This is really weird strat from both teams. No one taking it far east.
I don't know where this prediction came from, Rootkill. It was the vibe that I had that we're going to see something very different, and we're seeing it. Play in the center.
Can you pick my numbers for the Powerball?
I should. I need to go play the lotto tonight.
Yeah, seriously, you're on it.
Whew. It becomes that sixth sense when you watch so much World of Tanks.
I just feel like there's so many possibilities, and these teams will do whatever they want.
Commodore relinquishes his position in the center and now will hover towards the western side. Lord Reknap slams into him for 5 HP damage. High 5 heard around the world. It was that loud between these two tanks.
That's a powerful high five.
It is.
A little bit of bro fist. I'm a fan more of the bro fist.
I don't break knuckles. A little bit of spotting happening here and there. Commodore knocking down trees. Sure if Coolhammer was able to spot that or not. Those are the only two tanks that are spotted, the T1s.
And then Velatio, for the side of top tier, is going to be chilling out in a very strange position in the east, kind of in the low ground. And then is that Rude Awakening in the...
Callis takes a hit for 327. E63 M6 gets shot up. Lamali falls. That looked like a sim shot coming from Doppler. No,
Maybe.
It wasn't from Doppler.
1390's leaving E63 stuck.
Well,
Big Black
Recnap's low.
needs to get out.
Ooh, can't dodge the shots. But from around the corner, Coolhammer memory leak. T1s are going to do what they can against the 1390s.
Look at me.
The sweep coming from top tier, though, the tanks that were on the Eastern Road, they're coming up. Velatio and Explosionism, they want revenge. Commodore not able to get a shot. And he's going to be out of the firefight for a couple seconds. Memory leak peeks around the corner.
Ah, he's going to take cover.
He's going to take damage.
Oh, less than he's putting out.
Yeah, but Callis is trying to absorb those shots to the front. Commodore gets in front of him. And look at this, the IS-3 from Velatio. Explosion takes down Callis. He's going to absorb a lot of hits here. Commodore trying to block him fully. 5100 on the reload. So's Explosionism. Commodore going to... No, he's going to focus on retreating, on getting out of there.
Doppler takes down Memory Leak,
Quite a
and now
firefight.
Explosionism and Velatio are going to chase down Commodore.
Velatio's ready. Explosionism's ready. Velatio aims, fires, gets the kill. Flaming Panda's in trouble. A T1 firefight, but it looks like he won. Guarding the flag cap. Doppler and Big Cheese. Close. Explosionism with one shot. Gets it.
Oh, and Big Cheese puts it into dirt. He could have cleaned that up, but no, and now Velatio is rolling on in. A slow, big IS-3.
Big shot for 390 from the BL9 of that IS-3. Velatio's able to cover Explosionism. Trying to guard Velatio. Velatio will be reloaded in time to get another shot. And Big Cheese with a nice shot on the move. Gets the kill. Misses against Velatio. Will it bounce?
He's got to get distance. Wait.
Oh my goodness, Velatio gets the kill.
Amazing.
Doppler, super low, full drum, ready to go against Velatio. Went for the distance. I couldn't tell if that was a missed shot or it went into the tracks.
I thought he had it. Thought he did, but no.
Well, we've seen IS-3s hold the line against autoloaders in the past where we kill some of them with all 6 shots.
Yes, I do remember that. But now...
That was in the days of Simplistic, I believe.
That's a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
I miss Waffles.
Shout out to Waffles. Wherever you are in the world, my friend. We
Isn't it
miss
Maine?
you. He's what?
Isn't it like that's the Northeast?
Well, yeah, I mean in, the world of tanks.
Oh.
Yeah, he lives up in Maryland, I believe. Or Maine. You mentioned it right. Maine. All right, Doppler, Flaming Panda. It's up to you. Velatio.
Is trying to fit through a hole that I don't remember. Yes, okay, an IS-3 can't fit through.
Barely. Whew. So Flaming Panda's going to have to go for the flag cap. Doppler is ready to put some damage against the IS-3. 2 shots, no fall. Or a good shot to the side for an ammo rack and a win for C'est La Vie.
And cap begins. Flame Panda's on it. Is Doppler going to get into that position? Velatio playing it smart.
He's dancing a little bit here.
Oh, he's in the head of Doppler easy. He knows the approach he needs to take. He's going to take the widest to the west. Knows the 1390's watching.
Try to
stay hidden.
Try to stay hidden or also have the lack of accuracy at range for the 1390 work in Velatio's favor.
He might actually get spotted.
He does. Doppler sees him. Long range. Can Velatio get out of there? There's one shot and a miss. Velatio still moving as fast as he can.
The defilade for Velatio.
Oh, there's one hit. Velatio fires back. Fires back in vain. It was close.
Flaming Panda needs to get out of here. Has to get out.
2 minutes, 48 seconds. Man, 3 shots from Doppler. Flaming Panda leaves. Velaccio falls back.
But with the armor from an IS-3, Velaccio has so many options. And then the chances of just one of Doppler's shells bouncing and then Velaccio being able to just finish him off easy is so high.
The penetration value decreases at range for the shells from the 1390.
APCR actually falls off pretty heavy in the game of World of Tanks. They make
composite.
AP actually fall off not so hard. Now Velaccio getting himself into the graveyard.
Wait for the draw.
Yep. This is a position that you can't attack, really. Not with one tank.
Doppler being... What? Broke his tracks.
Doppler. So many tanks
Slid
kill
down.
themselves getting off this.
Slid down.
Honestly. You'd think that people would have tried to practice getting off that hill.
Well, he slid down slow, but he
I mean,
took it at too steep of an angle.
His wasn't so bad, but I've
Yeah.
seen people take a few hundred damage.
Oh, that he could have died.
Yeah.
He could have pulled the sing.
Rip Sing.
Rip sing. Velaccio would be singing a different tune. If that happened, he could push up and find that T1. Doppler slowly moving in, trying to scout. A lot of pings on the map coming out of Doppler here. Or possibly Flaming Panda.
There's a lot of pressure.
That's that beep beep you're hearing.
Yeah. Doppler knows the possibility of Velaccio being on the high ground. He's actually going to treat that with quite a bit of respect. The cap begins.
This is a smart play. Flaming Panda gets on the cap, forcing Velaccio to have to move if necessary, but 30-second difference here. Doppler's going to have to get on the flat cap as well. Velaccio, recognize the time difference. You don't have to push out yet.
Oh, I see what they're going to do. With the cap, they're either going to bait him to fire from the high ground, verifying how safe it is. But when Velaccio has to come out to stop the cap, Doppler will pop out, hopefully later. Yes, good, he waits. If he hadn't waited, Velaccio could deal with him. And now, Flaming Panda will spot Velaccio.
Velaccio does not want to fire, though. He wants to go for the ram damage.
Yes, but he can't probably afford that, because if he doesn't fire, he can't back off. He'll assume that Doppler's probably in the same position. So he'll have to try and make it so his approach matches that. There's a rock he can go to.
Here comes Doppler, slowly.
But he might also know what's up.
21 seconds.
Oh, Velaccio. I think he knows. He's got to know. Doppler's moving around. He's
Velaccio.
spotted.
Oh, fires and misses. Doppler sets it up and misses.
No.
He's
Zero
got
the
he's got 2 more shots.
Into the top. It's over. Battles. The timer's out.
It's a draw. It's a draw.
Ah,
Whew. Whew. That was close. It was close.
so close.
Velaccio. This 16, 17-year-old kid plays this game so well. So well. I want to look at his stats right now.
All right, post-game.
Post-game,
Top damage.
top damage, 6 for 8. Those 2 shots we saw miss against Doppler.
I mean, just throwing it
2,000
out there.
2,180 damage.
Wow. And then at the end, he knew. He knew something
He
was
knew.
coming.
He knew. He was in his head.
Just great head game. When he was trying to cross, he didn't do it perfectly, but he knew where Doppler probably was. And he guessed, I'm just going to go to the west. He didn't drive as meticulously as he could have, but all the same, you could tell what Velaccio was going for. Probably could have gone a little further west, wouldn't have get spotted, and also would have been in a defilade, which would have allowed him to stay safe from fire for most of that time.
Love how he went up on the hill and went, no, and then went behind that defilade, as you mentioned. And when he popped out and I saw him from Doppler's point of view, I went, clever. Clever girl. Well done by Velaccio. Well, it brings us to Ensk. Top tier, still in the lead with 1 point. Another draw here would keep them in the lead. Following another draw after that would be a victory. Well, no. It would be a possible draw if they actually won the final battle. So have to go for 4 draws to get the win. If they got a win here, then another draw, then it would be a victory. Still anybody's game, though. C'est La Vie playing this very, very well in comparison to the standings that we see in the Alpha Division.
That's a good point.
C'est La Vie at the bottom, tied with Victoria's Secret, and top tier near the top, 2nd place.
Yeah, C'est La Vie is really proving why they deserve to be in the Gold League right now. Top tier. Have to respect them. And this is close.
Yeah, and, Rude Awakening said it best, that C'est La Vie has some very talented players on there, and they're not going to underestimate them. Hopefully it's the case. And, well, predictions, east side play above the Lumberjack yard could be a possibility here. But if I was C'est La Vie, I would use those railroad tracks to the best of my ability to whittle down the HP of my opponent and then somehow, some way push against them and have the overmatch once you're able to take down one of the tier 8s.
You know, it's not a lumberjack yard. It's just a
lumberyard. Lumberyard.
It's not a yard of lumberjacks.
To me, it is because it's a bunch of tanks trying to destroy a bunch of trees.
So a bunch of Canadians around some train tracks, just chilling out in some flannel, you know, cutting up trees.
I would love to check the stats of all the Canadian players and compare them to all of the North American players, and then have a battle of the, I don't know what I would call it, battle of the border? Battle of the border.
That works.
Canada versus United States.
All right, let's do that.
I'm setting up an email right now. All right, here we go. Battle number 3 between C'est La Vie and Top Tier on Ensk. What do we have for tanks?
For tanks, I'm looking at 2 5100s, 3 they always get me with this one. 2 IS-3s and IS-6, 2 T1 Cunninghams for Top Tier. Felicio, you sneaky, sneaky guy. And then C'est La Vie will bring 3 5100s, 2 IS-3s, 2 T1 Cunninghams. Okay. Interesting. Felicio, always with that IS-6.
Always with that IS-6.
You,
well, not always. He was in an IS-3 on Abby. And it was a little Abby normal, the type of play we saw from those two teams.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Bad clutch. Dang it.
That's a... Oh, what was this? Is this Young Frankenstein?
Abby normal?
Yeah, Igor.
Yeah, yeah, I think I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Still a bad joke. It's so bad it's good. All right. Opening moves.
Opening moves. Llama Leaf in the T1. Rocking it between Foxtrot and Golf on the 0 line. Spots Cool Hammer. 2 of the tier 8s are behind him. Turning my camera around. That's Callus with a K and Lord Reknaps in the 5100s and proper sniper fire in case there is some aggression from Top Tier. Not going to be the case yet. And they're in the lumberyard.
And now, this lumberyard position, actually, I want to talk about it a little bit. It's very strange. We don't see this a whole lot from anyone.
Correct.
Actually, Explosionism taking up a nice hold down. It is good position.
Well, we're seeing more of the south creep up rather than the north hold, more or less.
Callus firing on the position of Sublime Banana. And actually, due to the little rubble pile, this is really not a clean lumberyard, by the way. I mean, the building's nice. Someone's left the door open. I'm pretty sure that's not regulation. And this rubble yard, and then somehow these pillars are standing. I'm always worried about that.
The smokestacks?
Yeah, these smokestacks. How are they still standing? And what did they go to?
Well, whatever that building that is now rubble was around it.
That's not. It can't be a building. It's got to just be rubble.
It got pulverized. Look at the concrete blocks.
I don't know. But these IS-3s really are using the position rather well.
Yep. Again, they can hold out. They can wait. So yeah, he's waiting for him. E63M6 takes down Lava Leaf.
All right, that's a little bit of a gain. And now, what's that return from a T1? Cool Hammer is going to be returning to position. I think he just made an active scout run in a T1. And now, I believe I see some tanks kind of getting ready to make an attack. Doppler, Big Cheese, and Camador are prepping, I guess, to move up the 7 line. It looks, I believe I saw them a moment ago in a slightly more southern position.
Yep, they're there.
But they're going to be sneaking up.
Big Cheese and Doppler. Well, they're holding. Looking at Big Cheese's viewpoint. Fires. It's a miss. And he will peek out in a sec. See if there's any damage. Does a reverse angle at first. Propping his tracks out towards the enemy. And he sees a tree fall. Valaccio fires, and it's a miss.
Okay.
Callus is moving towards the west. Flaming Panda spots Rude Awakening. And who wins the battle? No one. It's tied. Almost. Callus gets the kill. It was 5-7 on HP that was left.
Okay. And now we're actually seeing an interesting development. Now that C'est La Vie has taken out a T1, they have that advantage. Cool Hammer's going to have to return to cap. He's going to have to begin mounting a defense against Flaming Panda. Assuming he can win, he has plenty of hit points. They should be able to recover from this, because then they'll have a T1 advantage. But now it looks like a fight's brewing.
Yep,
Valaccio pushing forward is going to begin taking shells. 723 damage, tries to angle his armor, but it's not working.
Dopper and Commodore see that. They're going to focus, but all these tanks are focused on one line. It's only Callus that can maybe stop this push coming out of Memory League, but he takes a shot.
One more will finish off Valaccio, but he's actually taking a massive amount of damage before going down. And the reply from the rest of his team, Memory League, takes down Lord Raknevs. And Sublime Banana with Explosionism should begin the engagement shortly.
Explosionism is in a bad spot. He needs to either press forward. Oh, so low is Big Cheese at 17 hit points. Callus is up against 2 tanks, and Explosionism's falling back. And he's going to focus on the 5100.
Oh, nice shot by E63, snaking it through to Commodore. E63 moves on to Callus. One more will finish him off.
And he gets it. Big Cheese 1 shot away from falling. Does a little bit more damage to E63. Sublime Banana snakes that shot right between Explosionism and E63 M6. Commodore is going to fall back. Dopper and Commodore are low. Memory Leak still waiting on the reload. Commodore aims,
Dopper reloaded first.
Fires, and that's a track shot, it looks like. Commodore, low shot. Well, high shot, but low damage for Commodore still. And E63 M6 and Explosionism can't push in. They focus on Dopper first. Commodore, last tank left alive for C'est La Vie. And he falls. Top Tier puts another point on the board.
Not bad. Top Tier seems to just be edging out a little bit here and there, even though C'est La Vie does a pretty decent job. I don't think C'est La Vie is really getting huge gains with any of their moves, though. There's nothing truly outstanding that's beating out what Top Tier is doing. Top Tier is just playing a more comprehensive game.
Well, Valaccio was alive for so long in the IS-3 down the railroad tracks, or next to the railroad tracks, that a lot of those tanks that were focused on that one tank, you can't fault him for the isolation of killing it, but he stayed alive for so long, it allowed a lot of tanks from his team, from Top Tier, to move further south, and they got into better position.
And it forced 5100s onto reloads. Everyone was looking the wrong direction, like you said. Just good use of an IS-6. It seems like its armor is not really that great, but I think it's such a rare tank that no one's quite as used to it, and they don't take it as seriously, which I guess is probably the same mentality I have. Don't take it as seriously, therefore its strengths are actually kind of underrated. And so what happens is you just kind of throw shots at it, kind of like an IS-3, where you know where the armor generally is weaker, and you're just most of the time going to pen. And then you find yourself hitting spaced armor or hitting that awesome angle and bouncing.
Take a look at this on stats for Valaccio.
Okay.
Damaged, blocked by armor. 1,770.
Wow. Okay. Okay. IS-6. You're nice. Compared to an IS-3, real quick. Gotta have something to compare it against.
Sure.
Okay.
Look at the IS-3. Blocked armor, 300.
All right.
The other IS-3 Explosionism,
300.
300.
Okay. And then Commodore doesn't get any. And then 390 by Big Cheese. So the IS-6 in this situation, in this battle, Valaccio, you are just like Neo, bouncing.
Valaccio blocked more damage from his tank than all their IS-3s combined.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. That is quite incredible. I think that's going to have more people in the hashtag belief business than the IS-6 doubters.
Want to be a doubter still. And part of me wants to be, I'm so confused.
You only want to be a doubter because it's in your comfort zone.
Something
that was so deep,
zone.
so deep. That was so deep. Can't even see me right now. Can't even see me right now.
I didn't even know how to respond to that. I just look at you and I'm like, Josh.
I know.
What?
My logic just pierced your bubble. Gone.
Explosions in my brain. Cliff's the next battle.
Here we go. Next battle will take place on Cliff. And as much as my logic can cause explosions when it comes to root kill, I want to see how many explosions Explosionism can cause in this battle. That pun, that connection, that segue, so beautiful.
I'm done.
Ruka,
I'm done. No,
what do we have
you,
for...
you can intro the tanks this time.
All right. What do we have for tanks, Ruka? I can't do this without you.
What do we have for tanks clutch?
On the side of C'est La Vie, we have an AMX 5100, 4 AMX 1390s, and 2 T1s. On the side of Top Tier, we have an IS6 in the hashtag Believe business of Velacio's corner, 2 T69s, 2 1390s, and 2 T1 Cunninghams.
IS6. They've done it before. They're going to do it again. Remember last time they still won with that thing. I just am amazed.
This is battle number 4 between these teams.
Why are you such a good tank,
Top
IS6?
Tier up 2-0.
Why is it such a good tank? I have to
You know,
answer
when
this
you
question.
stick to something for a long time, like Velaccio has done, he has such a good, intimate knowledge of how the tank works, how it bounces shots, where the weaknesses are, where the strengths are, and he has been an evangelist for the IS6, and it shows. It pays off in the hard stats.
Pay for the tank. Get in the. For how much gold?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
Yeah.
Velaccio gets, as soon as we
you
say that,
too.
Velaccio gets hit for 252. So does E63M6 for 255.
Ouch. But I mean, you two can own this tank. Just pay enough gold and you got it.
That's right.
It's worth it.
That's all it takes. Money does buy happiness. Gold.
No. Money doesn't buy happiness. It buys a tank, the IS6, which brings you happiness.
Well,
you can get it through
therefore,
Clan Wars too.
vis-a-vis, it's happiness.
You don't necessarily have to get the
IS6 equals
IS6.
happiness, but look at this. C'est La Vie on the east side. Lord Reknaps, Flaming Panda, and Kamendor. They didn't have too much luck on the east side on mines. Will they have luck against Top Tier on Cliff? Possibilities.
Surprise, surprise, Lord Reknaps, Flaming Panda. And soon
Rude
Kamendor
Awakening,
will be
surprise,
lit.
surprise. Falls down close to the beach itself.
Now they're all gonna
Agamemnon, well, Explosionism takes a shot at Lord Reknaps. Flaming Panda gets hit. So the HP starts to trade out a little bit between these two teams.
And there's something happening at the cap, I think.
There is. Look at this. Down the one line. This is a circle play coming from C'est La Vie. They can screen the cap and try to stop these tanks. Agamemnon gets taken out.
It's actually a beautiful move. by C'est
Velaccio
La
gets
Vie.
hit.
And they're going to
It
actually be
is.
able to move a heavy tank, Big Cheese, up to distract. Yes, he's going to get jumped on, but everyone who just jumped on him is now reloading, and Velaccio is kind of left alone to take on a bunch of 13
He is, and they didn't spot Kamendor, and here comes Kamendor ready to finish. Lord Reknaps takes down Rude Awakening. There's both the T1s. Velacio's in trouble. Kamendor wants the kill. He wants it! Velaccio fires back, though, for 418, and he pulls back. He needs help from Top Tier. And Flaming Panda fires and misses. And Relay takes a hit. Oh, 503 in that volley.
E63 just made the sickest jump and didn't take any damage off the hill.
Flaming Panda goes down. Velaccio still in the fight.
4, 3, 2, 1, and the base is captured.
C'est La Vie puts a point on the board from a flag cap. They're
That
still in
is
the fight.
Amazing. That is-
Still in the fight.
That's a nice fast cap right there. If none of you saw on the mini-map, down the one line, you saw a 1390 and 2 T1s just blitzing down at the exact same time as the 1390s going east. Now, if they'd been spotted in the west, you'd have had a different game. You would have had people returning to base to try and stop the cap rush. And then the 1390s probably would have been highly successful. Whereas when you saw the 1390s get spotted, they grabbed all of the attention of Top Tier. Along with a 5100 in the north, they had to choose. And they decided to split their forces and deal with two problems. They could not deal with the third problem very well, because that one actually showed up a few seconds later than they'd already decided to deal with the 5100 and the 3 1390s. Now, what they probably didn't notice was that there was a 1390 missing from all this, and they didn't answer that question. So, C'est La Vie, very clever, very cute strat, but unfortunately, I don't think you can pull that one off very often.
No, that was a card that they wanted to play in a desperation mode, and it worked. However, this brings us to battle number 5 at a must-win scenario for C'est La Vie. They have to win to bring it to a tiebreaker. If they lose, or if it's a draw, they lose the series.
Interesting.
It's that close.
If they take them to the tiebreaker, I will be amazed.
If they, a team at the bottom of the division
Mhm.
takes a second-place team to a tiebreaker.
A team we've seen in a finals before.
Mm-hmm.
A team with some of the best players in the league. A team with the IS6.
A
itself.
team, a team that was 4th place, 5th place, top 5.
Yes.
Top 5. from Season 3.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised.
Yeah, it's good traction to have. Again, it comes down to a flag cap. They did it twice on Prohorovka.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've done it on Cliff. They have to do something here on Himmelsdorf in the same... I'm thinking, well, they can't really do the same thing because, one, it's a smaller type map, but two, the hill is such a distinctive section of the map itself because it takes so much time to get up there. And once you're up there, it's limited with the view that you have to rain damage down either the Delta or Golf line. And also, you're out of the firefight if a fight engages in the center. If C'est La Vie can somehow keep the engagement happening from far away from the flag cap, like they try to do on Prohorovka, but failed. But they've done in the past. They could tie this up.
Maybe.
That's
It'll
their
take
strength.
something clever.
That is their strength.
It's going to have to be something clever. I don't think that they can stand up in the same way in a brawl to those IS-6s.
No.
No.
No, they haven't been able to at all this entire series.
Mm-hmm. So I think that it's going to come down to something clever and cute, like we just saw.
So that begs the question,
Mm-hmm.
does top tier play aggressive for some type of sweep, or do they play defensive for the win?
That's how. You're right. That is a weird question. Okay.
If I was in top tier shoes, I would play defensive since this is a must-win scenario for C'est La Vie.
But if C'est La Vie expects you to do that, then you're playing into their hands.
That's true. However, it depends on spawns as well, and top tier will be to the south on battle number 5 on Himmelsdorf. It also comes down to the tanks. Rookhill, what do we have for tanks?
We have 3 AMX 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and 2 T1 Cunninghams for both teams.
Say it with me, chat. Mirror matchup.
Matchup.
Time to roll out.
Let's see who can do it better. Top tier up 2-1 against C'est La Vie. C'est La Vie spawns to the north in the blue, and the south will be top tier in the red.
And in the south, top tier, we'll be taking Explosions and Backstabs Vallejo and E63 M6 to the hill. Interesting strategy, similar to what we saw in Simp versus Fun Gaming, where Fun Gaming decided to take 4 tanks to the hill, leave 1 behind.
Yep. Simp took all 5. They won. That was the first Himmelsdorf battle that we saw in the first match. This is the 3rd time we're seeing Himmelsdorf tonight. Callis holding pattern coming from C'est La Vie. And one of the T1s will be moving up to the hill. That is Flaming Panda.
Flaming Panda is going to be flaming very soon, because a T1 cannot stand up to those rates. He's going to have to play it really well in order to live.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a dead Flaming Panda very soon. But what's going on over there in the
sacrificially, he can spot. If I was him, I would round the castle.
Northwest.
Yeah, that's C'est La Vie pushing out. This is what I'm talking about. If he's able to spot all of this, C'est La Vie will feel more comfortable pushing and getting an isolation on the tank that's spotted.
Nope,
it's
Sublime
only
Banana.
one.
Sublime Banana spots almost everything. Jigs up. Now Crossfire's coming from the hill, quite possibly. Sublime Banana backs off, Explosions and puts a shot out. Nope, no connection. And now everything's lit. Absolutely everything. Agamemnon's done his job. Rude Awakening, even more. Unfortunately, he's dead.
Well, Reknaps gets a shot. He takes a shot to the front, returns fire against Sublime, doesn't hit. Big Cheese needs to lead the charge. He will in the IS-3. Lower Reknaps will be right behind him.
Sublime Banana get to safety.
Callis from around the corner. This is that isolation I was talking about. They can get him. C'est La Vie's going for that flag cap.
Oh, but it could end up being a trap. You've got tanks moving in, and they're going to put so many shells in Sublime Banana. One more, and that will finish him. All right, that works. Extra wasted shell by Callis. Explosionism, round the corner, starts shooting. Does not take into account the number of tanks over there. It's going to take a lot of damage for this. But there's plenty of going back out, and Doppler, along with Callis, have been taken to incredibly low health.
Oh, Valaccio gets tracked. Not damage, and another track shot that did damage against Backstaz, and there goes Doppler. Callis still unloading a lot. Can he get Backstaz down? No, Valaccio takes him out. Valaccio takes 2 hits, still rounding the corner.
Gets into nice cover.
Lord Reknaps is out of the firefight for a bit, does a little bit of ram damage. T1 try to take down Backstaz. Lord Reknaps still not fully loaded yet, and now he is. One shot. Wait, gets it.
Lord Reknaps could save this one as Explosionism just threw himself away.
2. 1 more second left. C'est La Vie ties up the series and takes Top Tier to a tiebreaker. Can you believe it?
That is mind-blowing.
Can you believe it?
C'est La Vie with a fast cap. That's it. The one thing that C'est La Vie can do is fast cap. If there's anything that ever gets them any success, it is capping a base. And I can't think of, is there any other battle where they haven't capped to win? Or haven't used cap as their road to victory?
I'll have to look at their team profile.
I can't remember one. I'm thinking every time I've seen C'est La Vie win, it's been
a capture.
Yeah.
It has been a capture. Well, impressive. But when you're a team that's up against the ropes and you have nothing to lose, you go for what you can. You go for your strength.
Yeah.
And they're able to get it. It was very impressive to see, especially how fast they moved. They didn't hesitate. There wasn't like just one tank going, oh, wait, oh, you spotted us. Oh, and then they stop. You stop the momentum. It's game over. Now you're going to allow your opponents to move from the hill where you're guessing they're going to be and then to get into a guarded position. Then you're going to try to attack. Makes no sense whatsoever what you're trying to do. C'est La Vie just showed and outplayed. I'm going to say this. Showed and outplayed the majority of tankers, of teams in the WGLNA in that type of scenario.
Maybe.
But again,
there's a lot that could have gone better for
it was
Top
win. I mean, it was win or lose.
Yeah.
In that case, and it's not. This is not the type of play in Battle 1, right? The first battle between two teams, and this is how you play it because you still need to have some caution.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that room at all. They had no room for caution, and because of that, they could play that aggressive. They did so. They got the isolation, and they were ready for the pushes coming from Top Tier. With that being said, Top Tier, I'm sure, is not happy.
No.
Because now this means if they do win this series, it's only 1 league point.
Oh, man.
Still tough for C'est La Vie since doesn't really help them get out of the bottom of the league, but it drags Top Tier back down.
Top Tier has chosen to defend.
Top Tier
has chosen
did
to
more
defend.
damage, so they can choose to defend, and so C'est La Vie is going to have to aggress against them on Sand River.
And immediately after that, they called a timeout. I don't think Top Tier was expecting at all to be in this situation today.
No. None of us were expecting at all to be in this type of situation. A tiebreaker against C'est La Vie in Top Tier? This is incredible.
Yeah, and that's going to be 1 league point, which, if I go and look at the standings, that's going to throw things way off. If Top Tier wins, yes, that'll give them 10 points. Now,
if Top Tier... Oh,
yeah.
All right, so Fun Gaming lost to Simp, correct?
Yes.
So this means that no matter what happens... RBIS is solidified in second place.
Yes, absolutely.
RBIS is in second place.
Yeah.
And not tied with anyone.
Nope.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. I would never have predicted that in a million years at the beginning of the season. RBIS is going to be second place in one of the final weeks of the season.
And the lowest they can fall, guessing right now, not looking at the hard numbers, is third place.
Yeah,
for next week, for week 7, after week 7.
RBIS?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could fall to third. Maybe.
They could fall to third.
Maybe third. I mean, I don't see a way they can get into fourth unless they get like a tiebreaker, and then they go with that.
Well, the thing is, Top Tier will have 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
They win, they'll get 13. RBIS, if they lose, they'll stay at 12.
Yeah.
And so they'll be knocked to third place.
Yes. They can tie for third. That's pretty much it.
And they would have to play a tiebreaker.
Wow. RBIS is in the standings now. They're in the running.
They are in the running. They have a really good shot at the playoffs.
Yeah. Unless they do that fourth and the crossover happens and they lose out of that.
The wild
that
card.
Is it. It's it.
That wild card has kept some teams alive, like Simple Tankers last season. It's what knocked out some teams like River of Blood, who got unfortunately knocked out by Simple Tankers, even though they're part of the same clan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely brutal situation.
Incredible.
Right now.
Incredible. We were very close to starting the next battle. That timeout was called by Top Tier. They had 60 seconds, plus 60 seconds added. Or I should say, they always have 60 seconds to choose their tanks. The 60 seconds is added at the beginning when the timeout is called. Amazing. Sand River between these two teams. Who would have guessed it? Here we go. Battle number 6, the tiebreaker between C'est La Vie and Top Tier. Rookhill, what do we have for tanks?
We've got 2 T-32s, a T-69, 2 1390s, and 2 T-1 Cunninghams for the side of Top Tier. We've got C'est La Vie with a single T32, a T69, 3 1390s, an MS1, and a T1 Cunningham.
Also, if C'est La Vie is able to win this tiebreaker, they will be the first ever team in the Gold League for the WGLNA to win as an attacker in a tiebreaker. Since we've began tiebreakers to happen on assault maps.
Mm-hmm.
Still, though the victory would be so sweet for them, C'est La Vie, it would not be enough points really to guarantee them not to be knocked out of the league, of the Gold League.
It would severely damage their opponent. And
Yes.
you can take that and say, you know what? We did some work against top tier. And that will earn them quite a bit of respect. The fact that they've actually, after the record they've had, been able to take it to top tier in this way, you have to give them a lot of respect for this.
Now, Prohorovka, you mentioned, was messy between both teams. I'll agree with you.
Mhm.
It was. Mistakes were made on both sides. But that wasn't the case as much, even though Velaccio, Camador's hit multiple times. I don't think he knows which way to go. He's getting
It's a firing
demolished.
squad.
Yep.
Sublime Banana Vallejo Explosion of them just get to unload. And now you've got this nice, clean opening attack under the cover or distraction of Camador. He actually pulled a lot of attention away from his allies in the 1390s who moved up.
Velaccio, again, one of the top performers at a top tier, but it takes a team to accomplish what top tier has been able to do with their career so far. Was able to absorb 1,770 hit points into his armor.
That's with an IS-6, yeah.
With an IS-6, very impeccable type play. So there's heroes on both sides, but C'est La Vie with their flag caps have caught top tier completely off guard. Doppler firing away in his MS-1, shooting at buildings.
Why would he do that?
Get rid of cover.
But that's cover that you could use, certainly.
No idea. Anger, aggression.
Cover fire? Suppressing fire!
Suppressing fire.
Pew, 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 pew.
Cover me. Flaming Panda and Big Cheese from far away. Trying to keep the engagement towards their neck of the woods here. As they're in the Gulf
Callus picks up Rude Awakening.
one section. And Camador from far away still trying to line up something. Yep, Rude Awakening has fallen.
Now Doppler and Llama Leaf, they're falling back. It's two T1s heading on out, trying to find a new way around.
Long range from Camador shot.
And there's a push. Whoa, top tier is moving up.
What is this?
It's one way to defend your base. The best defense, good offense, something?
Sure, unless you know you're going to win when you defend.
Yeah, but this is a great way to do it. You're just moving up on a bunch of 1390s with some T32s, a 1390 your own, and T69. I mean, you want to take 1390s against that, it's not going to work. The T32s have so much health, so much armor, and they hit pretty hard. So you have to leave. C'est La Vie has to leave that position. And now, even though they have Camador and Callus in nice high positions, Vallejo is just in such a strong position of his own. And he just throws one out at Camador. Doesn't connect, but...
Llama Leaf scouting ahead for his compatriots. As Callus is lit up, or excuse me, Commodore is spotted. Callus looking for a shot with 4 shells left in his drum. Or actually total 4 shells for the T69. AMX 1390s have 6. Camador still spotted. 5 minutes, 55 seconds.
Oh, Camador gets himself hit again for 318, but Sublime finally takes a shell for 238.
Callus gets lit up. Hit for 368. Hit again.
Clearly not worth it at this point.
Has to fall back.
Callus needs to put his head down. Backstas lights up Flaming Panda. And he's going to start backing off. I guess that's going to cue another flex from top tier. Just a solid defense. It's very difficult to attack on Sand River. You need to bullet your opponent. You have to catch them off guard. You have to get some free kills early game. It depends a lot on your enemy's mistakes, but that's assault mode. It's very difficult. I remember when the salt used to be on the opposite side. Instead of being in the southeast, it was actually in the north. Which was just weird. Although I felt like a little harder to defend.
Backstab of the E63 M6, you're in a little bit of trouble here.
No, E63 is actually getting into a very interesting position.
But never mind. I thought they were going to move up closer to the water. Not the case. Flaming Pandas yet. 4:42. Time is...
I see the potential. You're talking about E63?
Yeah.
There is actually a lot of potential for him to be in a bad position. He doesn't actually have a real retreat path. He's got some defilades he can try and hide in.
Yeah, that's what he's doing right now. He's backing up, getting closer to Backstas. Time dwindles for C'est La Vie.
And then soon they'll be able to make a push, maybe. It'll have to be a fast cap. But they don't really have the tanks.
How this works for the tiebreaker, since top tier did more damage throughout the series, they're in the defensive spot because they chose that. And as the defender...
That bounce. Callus killed Callus.
Oh,
Callus?
what? Did he fall?
Callus, what are you doing? I'm going to go find it.
To finish my point, top tier can draw this out and win or kill the rest of the tanks. C'est La Vie has to flag cap, which Big Cheese is doing, along with the rest of his team. They're going for their strength once again.
Okay, I see how he did it. He jumped off a cliff. A small hill.
Oh.
Misjudged the height.
Bummer.
Killed himself.
E63 takes down Llama Leaf. Big Cheese hit. Here comes top tier, ready to unleash L. Dopper's gonna hide behind Big Cheese. This tank's slightly higher though. Not really. Maybe very slightly higher. Agamemnon seen. Dopper and Commodore take him out. Bellaccio takes down Flamey Panda. Only a couple tanks left. Dopper falls back a bit, trying to stay alive. Keep the tanks points on, and he falls. 2 tanks left for C'est La Vie. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left. Commodore launches another shell into the side of Bellaccio. Lord Reknaps falls back in his 1390, waiting for the reload. 5 tier 8 tanks left for top tier to destroy what's left of C'est La Vie in their 2 tier 8s. Commodore still fires again towards Bellaccio. Going the roundabout way to try to find this tank. Bellaccio hit again for 282. Commodore landing those shots. They can't underestimate him here.
No. But Backstas fully loaded. Zeros on Commodore. First connection for 290. Second one should finish it.
Lord Reknaps
Yes.
under attack as well. Backstas with that kill right before. Backstas
the
now
jukes from
firing towards the road. Reknaps, he gets it. And that's it. Top tier takes the series and 1 league point. In a matchup that I would say none guessed would end in a tiebreaker between these 2 teams. Even though it was a messy battle number 1, I have to say more of that traction has been gained from C'est La Vie. And even though this was a loss and now they're in danger of being knocked out of the Gold League, they're going to come back with a vengeance like we've seen from other teams, such as Bernal Empires and Refuse to Die. Well played from C'est La Vie, but top tier are your victors.
Congratulations. They get 1 league point.
They do.
That's it. C'est La Vie has done a successful job at denying 2 league points for their opponent. It's pretty nice. Pretty sweet.
It is. It is. But the next matchup, hashtag RU versus Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is in the same boat as C'est La Vie with only 1 win. Hashtag RU. A little bit lower, I think about 5th place right now. So a win would be huge for them tonight. We're going to have that next matchup. Hashtag RU versus Victoria's Secret after this.